Weaving in your ends. I know this is something that we all hate. So I'm going to show you how I avoid weaving in ends. It's super easy and it replicates the same thing that you do when you weave in your ends on the wrong side using duplicate stitch. You follow along these stitches to weave in your end, and it takes for freaking ever, especially when you're working on a scrappy project or a project that has a lot of color changes. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna end color that you were knitting with, and you're gonna take your new color, and I like to leave a decent tail over here so that it can knit that in on the next row. Usually it would be 2 strands, but since I'm using 2 strands to knit for this sweater, it's a marled sweater, I have 3 strands. So I'm gonna take my strands, including that end, and I'm just gonna start knitting with all of those strands as if they were just one strand of yarn. And I will show you when I get to the end of this tail here how it looks from both sides. It's as simple as that. All you're doing is knitting it in with the rest. And when you start getting too short here, I just kind of maneuver it, or you can leave it out and deal with it once you get done with the particular row. Look at that. You can't even tell. I'll show you further down where I have knit more, but that's the front. And this is the back. See how there's 2? It's the same thing as if I would have woven in the end into that stitch. And down here, I did the same thing. You can't even tell. It doesn't add a lot of bulk. It's exactly like weaving in, yet you are not having to weave it in. The only end that I have here was that other one. So what you can do is knit all the way around. Once you get to the next round, pull that yarn up to your next row and knit that into the next row. Hopefully this helped somebody and will save you a lot of headache of weaving in ends.